I got a kind of spin-off question to what we've already discussed, but if you're still overpaying for wireless, it's time to say yes to saying no at Mint Mobile. Their favorite word is no contracts, no monthly bills, no overages, no hidden fees, no BS. I said yes to making the switch and getting premium wireless for just $15 a month. Mint makes it simple. All plans come with the high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. You can even bring your own phone and keep your same number in contacts. If you're ready to say yes to saying no, make the switch at mintmobile.com/LockedOnNFL. That is mintmobile.com/LockedOnNFL. Jason, after the game yesterday, Kevin Stefanski said if Dillon clears concussion protocol, he is the starter. At this point, knowing what we have seen from Dillon Gabriel through 5.5 games and from Shador in just half a game, is it a surefire decision? Kevin Stefanski may say that there'd be no discussion about it. Do you agree with Kevin Stefanski that it should be a no-fire decision, or do you think Shador showed you guys enough in his half that he should be the starting quarterback moving forward?
Shedeur showed nothing that he should be the starter moving forward, but still, that still doesn't change my mind. You got to see him. You've already broken the seal. They didn't want to play him this year, but that's out the window. So now he's out there. So you can't put it back in the tube now. You might as well leave him out there. And again, I think he will play next week because of the situation with Dillon. So it's kind of a moot point. So take another look at him and see when you build everything around him. The thing with Shedeur, he's at his best when the play breaks down. Do we agree on that?
Well, as long as he doesn't retreat the other way, yes.
When he can spin out of the pocket.
And quite frankly, I think Dillon's at his worst. Dillon just folds.
So
down he goes.
So how do you build on the fact that when he's on the move and directing traffic, like
get him out of the pocket.
When he told Isaiah Bond go,
yep,
he looked comfortable in the moment.
I agree.
And then he overshot him. The Larvadane throw, I thought that was the best throw of the day.
It was.
The Fannin throw was fine. It was that was the standard NFL throw. He had a clean pocket. He had time. He stepped in the throw. Fannin was wide open in the middle of the field.
They did a great job blocking for him on that play.
It was a good. I don't want to take away. It was a good throw. That was a standard NFL play. We see that play 100 times over.
But he made it.
But the Larvadane throw, I thought was a really good throw. Like
best of the day.
It's in coverage into the corner of the end zone, and he gave his guy a chance to make a play, and the defensive back made a better play. So congratulations to you.
Tip your cap.
You did your job, but he put the ball where it needed to be. But again, that was kind of a rollout. Play breaks down. So how do you incorporate that within structure? I don't know the answer to that.
Well, boots, get him out of the pocket, right? You want him. You don't want him. I just think you have to get him on the move.
We talked early in Dillon's start about the guardrails, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mentioned that in the Minnesota game. They kept the guardrails up, kept everything simple for him. You have to do that again with Shedeur. It's his first NFL start. It's on the road. Of course he's going to be nervous. Yes, he got some of the jitters out of him yesterday, but he's going to be nervous and amped up and ready to go. So how do you keep the guardrails up on him, and how do you put him in position to succeed on an offense where the receivers are horrendous, where the tackles are awful, where there's just not a lot to work with? I don't have the answer. I've said all year, I don't know what you're supposed to run with this offense.
Yeah, I don't either.
But you have to find a way to get him comfortable when he's on the move, because when he bails out of the back of the pocket, disaster strikes. We've all seen that.
Can't do that.
And when teams pressure him, when they blitz, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Because you don't have the protection's not going to hold.
Right.
And the Raiders do have a top flight
They've
pass
got
rush.
an elite pass rush.
Where
So
are your quick options? What are your release valves? What are we doing? Because look, you bring up a good point. They about to blitz. The Raiders, I don't know how much they blitz, but trust me, next week if he play, everybody gonna be at that line of scrimmage. So they could prepare for it now. But I do think that you raise a good point. You say, did Shedeur do enough to take the quarterback one job from Dillon Gabriel? No, he didn't do enough. It's not about doing enough or that he came out there and was dynamite and they had to. This is about the evaluation. You put him out there, he played, you saw some good things, you saw some bad things. Now, let's actually get a real evaluation. And the real evaluation comes from reps, practice, getting used to different things, understanding the game plan, watching tape, being with Tommy Rees a entire week, putting together a first 15 script, understanding, trying to go over the film, what they're going to do to you, and then seeing what we can do against the Raiders. It's the first start, so it's going to be an opportunity for him to finally be in a system where, hey, We're depending on you to get certain things done. And if you can get Jerry Jeudy, if y'all could get that Jerry Jeudy that caught that football in the fourth quarter, I'll take that. If I could get, Gage Larvidan, if he can ever, somebody could pull that down in the corner of the end zone, I'll take that. If I could get Quinshawn Judkins, because, by the way, we underselling. There was 3 or 4 plays Judkins turned no yards into 6. There was 2 or 3 plays. There was guys in the backfield. He turned them plays into basically opportunities to keep the sticks moving. And then the biggest thing is you get an opportunity right now. If you look at it from his perspective and you look at what's going on with the offense versus defense, if you want to play Shedeur Sanders, it's the best opportune time because look at the way that defense is playing. No, Miles Garrett and Carson Schlesinger is playing.
David.
Oh, my God. Guess what? You're going to get him an opportunity. They kept you in that football game, and did you see how Lamar Jackson was looking? He was like, listen, these dudes is out here lights out. So you give yourself an opportunity. Keep the guard. All you need is 2 or 3 plays. Get you 2 or 3 plays, and you might have you something.
The Raiders blitz 19.8% of the time. That is 21st in the league, so not a huge blitz.
That's going up.
That'll go up
38%.
That's going up.
The answer to the question is obvious, but they both got it right. I don't think Jason's answered it yet. No, he didn't do enough. If you put the split screen graphic up again, that's painfully obvious. If this were reversed and the Browns were, and they're not, but let's just say they were still alive. Let's say they were 5-4, 5-5. Then of course you've got to go back to Dillon Gabriel. But this season, as Jay has pointed out, since July, is not about winning. It's about evaluating, seeing what you have. And there is no sane argument that I can think of why you would put a healthy Dillon Gabriel back in the game. I just can't make that argument right now.
Their argument would be they believe he gives them the best chance to win.
But what is okay? So now you're 3.
But I'm with you.
Now you're 3-8.
I'm with you.
Like
you got to figure out what you have in Shador.
That's the rest of this season is simply the whole season has been about.
I mean, it's been a
it's
death
an
march.
Exploratory season.
It's been a death march since week 1.
This has been a
draft. Miserable season.
Like you've got to look at what these 2 quarterbacks have. If you go back to Dillon Gabriel and he shows moderate growth week to week. Which it looked like, I mean, he was playing okay, not lights out by any stretch of the imagination, but he wasn't throwing picks. He was 70% on his completion. That's fine. But by no means is he tearing it up. And if you still had a chance, and in this division, by the way, anybody but the Browns really has a chance.
Well, the Bengals don't.
Well, the Bengals are, I mean, my God, the Bengals, holy cow. Yeah. If there ever was a time for the Browns to be at the top of the talent cycle, this year is the year. But it's not going to happen. So I don't care about seeing more of Dillon Gabriel. I've seen enough. I know what he is. Now, would I like to see him with weapons? I'd love to see that, but we don't have that. So now I have to see, okay, is there anything there worth saving with Shedeur Sanders?
And it's so hard to know that because of the talent around
You can't evaluate
with
it.
both of these
You
guys.
can evaluate. Yes,
A little bit.
You can always evaluate. You take these things into account. Here's the thing. Did Shedeur Sanders play well enough to he earn the job? That's a ludicrous question.
No.
Of course he didn't. But the facts are the Browns have not had a quarterback play well enough to keep the job since Jameis Winston threw for 500 yards against the Broncos the first week of December last year.
And he eventually lost the job.
Yeah, and he did throw 3 picks in that game, but he threw 4 touchdowns. There's not been a single game this year where the quarterback was awesome. Not one. Not Flacco, not Gabriel, and not 10 seconds of Shedeur Sanders. You used the word crazy. The Browns organization is crazy.
They are.
And I think this conversation is the number one reason why everybody has to be fired. And then I get it. The first thing Jason's going to say, and he's right, is, well, Jimmy Haslam's still here. Well, we can't fire Jimmy Haslam. If I could fire anybody, it would be Jimmy Haslam. Unfortunately, we can't fire Jimmy Haslam. So the next hope is that he fires everybody, and we just get lucky that he makes a good hire. The fact that this organization, and I'm putting Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry together. To me, they're in the same boat. There's no way I'm keeping one and getting rid of the other. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. They're together. They're on the same page. They're a team, okay? They have we keep saying, what are they supposed to do? They put this offense together. This is the offense that they put together. 6 years. Kevin Stefanski has never won a playoff game. Never. I don't care about the Steeler game. He wasn't there. He didn't coach it. He wasn't there. Don't tell me it's on his record. I don't give a rat's duty.
Yeah, we had more inexcusable pre-snap penalties yesterday.
Yeah, the Ravens were pulling some Browns-esque moves.
They
too.
were.
But the idea that we would play Dillon Gabriel is ludicrous. The idea that Kevin Stefanski would think he gives him the best chance to win is just more proof that he should be fired.
Did you see Shedeur yesterday?
Jason, it's irrelevant. Neither guy. Don't tell me Shador has a worse chance than Dillon Gabriel.
They are a third-round pick and a fifth-round pick. The odds of them succeeding...
They decided
surrounded by bad talent.
That's what they decided to do.
So what quarterback should they have taken last year?
I don't know.
That's the point.
It's not my job. My job is not to get the quarterback.
Show me the quarterback that's playing well out of this draft that they were supposed to draft.
Jackson Dart's playing decent.
Dart's been decent.
He's been. How many times has he been concussed?
Too many.
4?
Yeah,
Dart's been okay. What I'm saying is
it's not this year. It's been 6 years. They've gotten it wrong every time.
They had the second pick in a one-quarterback draft. So show me the quarterback.
I don't know that it's a one-quarterback draft.
So far it has. I mean, Cam's not
a
even
zero
good.
quarterback.
Cam's not been good either.
It was a terrible draft for quarterbacks. It was a terrible time to have your franchise quarterback burn down the house. So now you got to shovel up the debris.
So
you want to fire him. I'm not arguing that. Fire him.
It's not 1 year.
No, but it is.
It's 6 years.
The Deshaun thing unraveled last year. That's when it unraveled, was last year. This was their chance, their first chance to try and fix it. Yeah. They have no cap space, and it was a terrible quarterback draft.
Again, it's their fault as a team. They put themselves in this situation.
In a vacuum, we can look at a lot of different things. But here's what you got to take into consideration. Those were the individuals who made the decision. It wasn't us. The audience is split on Baker Mayfield. They made the decision that he wasn't it.
By the way, Baker's been low-key not good for a month now. I jinxed him by trading for him.
I know, in your legacy league, you can't get rid of him. But
I don't want to get
running back and his receivers.
Hold on. I don't want to
running back.
I don't want to get sidetracked.
About Tampa.
No. I don't want to get a sidetrack.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. So when you make that type of decision again with the number 1 pick, and you have to make a decision, and you didn't want to give him a certain figure of numbers, and you played him when he was hurt, then he moved. Once you made that move, you put yourself in a place of desperation because you had a ready-made football team ready to go. Then you had to go after somebody to get it to man the ship. They went after Deshaun Watson. They made that choice. That didn't work. All right? So when that didn't work and you figured it out, now what we're going to do is say, okay, let's take a look at DTR. That didn't work. Let's bring Flacco in for a little bit. They made the decision that Flacco was not the guy and moved on from him, didn't offer him a contract. Deshaun came back. That didn't work. Now you look at a situation where you're okay, let's go ahead and figure out what we got here. We got a quarterback class. We may not like anybody, but you did pass on Jackson Dart, and you did make the evaluation that Dillon Gabriel was the quarterback that you want. Kevin Stefanski stood on that. You also drafted Shedeur Sanders. My thing is this. Yes, we can look at it today and say, you know what? They had some bad things happen. But at every step, Bull is correct. They are the ones who made the decision to put these people together. And you have to stand by your decision. You did it. Nobody picked the players for them. They had the picks. They made the decision to trade down and to stockpile the defense. And they've missed on a lot of guys offensively. So I can't say right now, like, oh, goodness, is it all their fault? No, you had to. But development is key. These other teams are developing, and I don't trust, and nobody can say they trust Kevin Stefanski to get another first-round lottery ticket and say, go find a quarterback.
Had they not drafted a quarterback at all in this draft, everyone would be killing them. You don't have a quarterback. Take a chance. How can you not take a chance? Pick somebody.
They took 2 chances
in
a bad quarterback draft.
But that's what. But it's a no-win situation. Because you take 2 quarterbacks, and now we're killing them for taking 2 quarterbacks because they stink. But if they don't take any quarterbacks, everyone would have killed them for they don't have a quarterback on the roster. They don't have a franchise quarterback. You have to take a shot. Take somebody. Take a chance. So which is it?
It's a no-win situation. You can't go get a free agent. You couldn't be in the Sam Darnold sweepstakes.
There's no quarterback. Yeah, who else? You want Tyler Shook? He sucks.
He's played one game.
Okay. There is no
Does he-
quarterback.
we don't know that he
there
sucks.
was no quarterback in this draft to
How
go
much
get.
has Tyler Shuck played, Mike?
No, literally just the one game he
He's
played.
played one game. You don't know he sucks.
Okay. Fine. Then they should have taken Tyler Shuck
I'm not.
instead of
You're saying
Schlesinger.
who they should have taken.
I'm
we
telling
don't
you,
know.
there was no quarterback to take. That's what I'm telling you. None of these guys have played great.
Then why take Dillon Gabriel? He's clearly not an NFL
They
quarterback.
threw the dart. No, he's
That's
not.
ridiculous. There were better dart throws.
Yeah, there were, and then we would have killed him for not taking a quarterback.
Can I?
No,
Why,
Yes,
better
would've.
dart throws at quarterback.
Can I ask you a question? Why did it take? They took the flyer on Pickett and then didn't even play.
I have no idea.
Good question,
That's a
but
great question.
they clearly made a
They should have
180-degree
kept the
pivot.
veterans. They should have at least kept one veteran. So you're telling me they should have taken Shuck instead of Carson
I don't know
Schlesinger?
who they should have taken.
But that's what you're
Jason,
saying.
The point, first of all, I personally, yes, you're right. Other people would have killed him if they hadn't taken a quarterback somewhere along the line. I wouldn't have, because I assume a quarterback taken third round later is going to suck. So, for the most part. So, I wouldn't have killed him for that personally, but you're right. A lot of people would have. Okay? You're writing off all these other quarterbacks who I don't think are any good, but they haven't played, like Dillon Gabriel. What could they have possibly seen in this guy?
I have no idea.
This guy
we've
is-
said I don't think he's a franchise
Cam
quarterback.
Ward was the best of the bunch, and
Yeah.
he has played, and he's been abysmal.
Terrible. So,
So
I don't
I
want
think
Cam
history's
Ward
gonna
play.
show
if you
that
wanted
this was
if
a
you
terrible
wanted Tyler
draft.
Shuck, then you better have taken him instead of Carson Schlesinger or Quinshon Judkins.
By the way,
he went in the second round.
Shuck has played a little more than I give him credit for. He has played 2 games. He's got 3 touchdowns, 2 picks, 586 yards, completing 60% of his passes.
You know
All right,
what?
so
that's not
bad.
awful.
I mean, it's too
586 yards in 2
All right,
games.
I haven't
then
watched
take Schlesinger off this team. They should have taken Tyler. They should have taken Shuck. In the
Yeah, I
second
wouldn't have been
round.
happy with that.
I mean, that's what.
I wouldn't have
that's
been
what.
happy
It
with
was a bad quarterback draft.
Yeah.
And Shuck went 40th, so Jason's right. You didn't have a chance after Judkins and Schlesinger to get Shuck if you wanted to.
Well,
No.
you wouldn't have known what Schlesinger
You
was
could have got
anyway,
Jackson
but-
Dart.
I will say this: we talk about players and we talk about who the quarterback is. I think we do a much too much ado about certain things like that because you're not a finished product when you come into the league. You're not oh he's good or no he's bad. It is up to the quarterback coach, the offensive coordinator, and your head football coach to develop these guys. And we can all agree, I don't think the development plan that they put in front of these 2 guys is abysmal.
Yes.
Like the fact that you have 4 quarterbacks, you said it was a competition, you didn't, like, put it to you like this, case in point, Shedeur Sanders, right? This is the thing where you talk about why guys don't set up people for success. In the preseason against the Rams, Shedeur Sanders was running backwards. He got sacked 5 times or whatever the case may be. They get the football, they're able to go downfield, and they got an opportunity for him to come in and do a game-winning drive or try to get his team downfield. They inexplicably take him out because they said they don't want to hurt his confidence. He was playing poorly. We wanted to protect him. Listen, guys, that's the craziest thing
How
I've ever
valuable
heard.
would those reps have been?
Did the
yesterday?
Browns
Thank
actually-
you.
Did the Browns
Thank
actually
you.
say that, or are we speculating that was what it
No,
is?
they didn't say
They-
that. They,
but-
they said they wanted to look at a quarterback that had 0% chance
Right,
to
that
make
was
this
stupid.
team.
And
That's
so-
why it was stupid.
And so look, now you're in a position. He's the backup quarterback, and as the head coach, your job is not to get one person ready. It's to put your team in the best position for everyone. If you leave him in the Rams game, you let him sink or swim. It's a preseason game. It don't count. Guess what? He could have leaned on that against the Ravens this game.
Yeah. Now, in fairness, you're right with your main point is why were you going to give those reps to a player
But-
that you knew was not going to be on your team?
That was
you knew he was just a
crazy.
Yeah,
placeholder.
it was
That's
stupid.
why that move was stupid. I think what we all kind of inferred, and maybe it's our mistake. I don't think the Browns ever publicly said this, but we had watched what he had done in the Rams game.
Yeah, it was
It
bad.
was abysmal.
Okay.
And I do think that if they would have quietly told someone, we got to get him out of here, we're going to wreck this kid, I would have been okay with that. But I do think, to G's point, look how valuable those reps would have been yesterday. Shedeur is this. Shedeur loves the big moment. He loves that. You could tell the stage was not too big for him yesterday. He looked the part. You said this earlier. To me, he moved and looked like an NFL quarterback. The results weren't there, but he's a confident, bigger, stronger arm quarterback with a different skill set than Dillon Gabriel has. I would have liked to see maybe in that Rams in that last minute drive a chance to make a drive and win the game. maybe he would have shown you something that sometimes quarterbacks only get a chance to show in that moment.
Those moments.
He had been bad. Give him a chance to work his way out of it.
Especially if you know you're not gonna give him the rest during the
Well,
season.
who was the quarterback that they had brought in? It was one of the guys.
Tyler Huntley.
Yeah, well,
For
what
what?
are they doing giving
that
that,
was
guy?
stupid.
That was
By the way,
dumb.
Huntley's on the Ravens now, so
Yeah.
Like he's doing commercials about the backup.
By the way, I
The progressive commercials is a backup. You're right.
I don't know about you guys.
A lot of Browns quarterbacks.
I'm
Super
curious
right.
with you guys because I'll tell the truth. Like when the Browns were winning 16-13 and the Ravens had the ball, I wanted them to score because I wanted Shador to have that chance.
You know, it's
I
kind
did.
of.
I wanted us to
know
win the
you wanted
game.
to
I
win,
wanted to
but-
win the game.
In my
Yeah.
mind, I thought to myself, I said, they just need one play. All you need
Yeah.
is one. They could have put the Ravens away because the way the defense was playing, I'm saying to myself, if you even get 3 here, if we can move the ball down the field, get something going, we could put them out
No,
of
I'm
their
saying
mess.
when the Ravens.
No,
had the
I know
ball.
what you're.
Yes.
I wanted them to not score
Right,
because
I get
I wanted
it.
to
I
win the
get
game.
it.
But
But
and look,
I wanted to see it,
Shedeur
though.
still could have taken over and added a touchdown onto the 16-13 and put the game away.
Right.
So we were going to get to see him in a somewhat pressure cooker situation. What I didn't want to have to do was see him down 23-16, which ultimately was
Sure.
the reality.
Yeah.
I didn't want to see that because now it's do or die. And you
Yeah.
know what? He damn near came through. He made a throw that was worthy enough to tie that game. To Jay's point, it was a great throw by Shedeur. Would a better receiver been able to go get it and hold on to it? Maybe. But the defensive back, tip your cap, man.
Made a
That
great
was a
play.
hell of a play.
I'm-
But he made the play that could have tied the game.
I'm interested in seeing Tommy Rees. We take in consideration this is Tommy Rees' second game calling plays, right? He called 1 week for Dillon Gabriel. That was a completely different game plan. Now it's time to pivot. It's a completely different game plan for Shedeur Sanders. And if he gets the opportunity and it works, I'm interested to see what Tommy Rees cooks up because I do believe it was evident there's a different level of skill set, there's a different level of arm talent, and he can make plays out of structure. Now I want to see how you develop that. I want to see more of Malachi Corley. I want to see more of guys like that, and I want to see. And one thing I did like is when Shador did go into a football game, he was on the sidelines telling the guys, hey, listen, this is what I want you to do. This is what I want you to do. Hey, let's get to this. I think push gun to shove, if you give him some advice, hey, get Jerry Jeudy involved because Jerry Jeudy is the only guy who has the ability.
And the tight end.
And David, and the throw to David Njoku over the middle for 8 yards. Where he
throw.
went through his progression. I think they did a good job on TV showing him go through his progression with his eyes and then come back to the last one with David Njoku. And David Njoku got up shaking his shoulders, shrugging his shoulders a little bit. I think that if you get these footballs to the playmakers and they start to see that if I run my route hard, if I can catch the football, that ball is going to come to me like a point guard running the fast break.
Confidence.
Now, the truth is some of the sacks are on him. That's been the case in college, too.
They were.
And if he doesn't find a way to fix this problem,
Did you read the Cleve TA?
I
Travis
did
just
see
sent
that.
that
Yeah,
to
yeah.
us. What do you make of that? It's convoluted.
yeah, but it's such a small sample
Yeah,
size.
I know.
I
Cleve
can't
TA,
take-
who we love, always
Yeah.
finds incredible trends and stats.
Yeah.
My thing was too. Well, a lot of that was the preseason.
Yeah.
But essentially, he says that including preseason, Shedeur has dropped back 59 times, 7 quarters, 20 drives. He's taken 9 sacks on 31 pressures. That's a 52.5% pressure rate, an insane 29% sack to pressure rate. For perspective, Cam Ward leads the NFL with a 28.7 sack to pressure rate. Sanders' sack percentage is 15.2. Lamar leads the NFL at 11.8.
Right, so it'd be the worst. But
Yeah.
to me,
You need to
It's
see
way
more.
too
You need to
small
see more. You know
sample
what?
size.
That
It's a
is
small sample size,
Yeah.
but it reinforces everything that you would.
Yeah, it does. So
was the
far,
scouting
the
report.
small sample size has matched up with the
right,
scouting
and if
report.
he ultimately doesn't correct that,
Then it's a
he's
career
never
ending,
going
yes.
to make it in the NFL.
Yes, but-
however, and the reason I'm arguing with Jason is because I've heard a lot of people say, "Well, now you know why he didn't play. Now you know why he didn't play." Okay, clearly he's not ready to be a good quarterback right at this. He wasn't ready last night to be a good quarterback in the NFL.
Right.
But here's the thing: Dillon Gabriel, and I'm making sweeping judgments. It may be unfair, but this is my opinion, so I'll stick with it. If we find out I'm wrong, then as always, I will admit I'm wrong. There is nothing in the game of Dillon Gabriel that anybody saw in college or that anybody has seen with the Browns that makes you think he could be anything in the
no,
NFL.
but all that being said, at no
Yeah.
point has he looked as bad as Shador did in the second
I
half
don't agree
yesterday.
with that. Not yesterday. He didn't look as bad as Shador did yesterday.
No, I'm saying at any point in since he's become the quarterback.
I don't agree.
I mean,
there was one game where he should have had 4 picks.
his QBR was 3.8, Shador.
I hear you.
I
But
mean-
it was a half of football. I don't care about his QBR.
Look, Dillon
Yeah.
has not looked good.
Yeah.
You're not gonna
Right.
lose an argument with me on that. He
Yeah.
hasn't looked good. He's been awful. But at no point has he been 4 for 16 with 3 sacks, a pick,
No,
and an intentional
no,
grounding.
Statistically, yes, he was worse than Dillon was ever.
Yeah,
I think the game. What was the game where Dillon there was 4 picks he should have thrown? Which game was that?
It was the Pittsburgh game.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought he was just as bad as Shador was.
Okay, but
yesterday,
watch this.
in
Yeah,
my opinion.
maybe.
But it doesn't matter. And here's why it doesn't matter, and why I would 100% play Shedeur Sanders going forward, because there's it may be small. If you ask me, is Shedeur Sanders going to be a great quarterback in the NFL? I'm going to tell you no. I don't think he is.
Right.
But I think Shedeur Sanders has a chance, and there's no chance with Gabriel. And that's the only reason. That's the reason I played Shedeur. And
How many fans were there yesterday? You were there, right?
Half.
So about 40, 35?
It's about half full.
Oh, that's more than I thought.
It was more than I was expecting.
I thought there'd
It
be
was
about
about half
25 to 30 with
Yeah.
the weather and
Yeah.
where we are in the season
Yeah.
and what tickets we're going for.
And to your again, the way that they botched this, they had 2 veterans on the roster, and the moment they took Dillon, we can say now there ain't nothing there, and we thought at the time,
Yeah.
I don't understand it. There's nothing there. Why they spend a top 100 pick on a backup quarterback, I'm not going to defend
Fireable
that.
offense.
I have no idea why
Yeah.
they did that. But at the time when they left the draft that night, when they drove home in their cars that
Yeah.
night, they had 2 veteran quarterbacks and a 3rd-round project quarterback that they could bring along slowly and develop, because they had 2 veterans in front of them, and they would probably revisit quarterback in the draft again next year. That was the plan when they left Berea. And then somebody slept on it overnight, and suddenly Shador was brought in the next day, was drafted the next day, and that was the grenade in the room. And now all the veterans are gone, and you're stuck with both of these rookies, neither one of which have looked great to this point, and you got half the season left you got to get through. It doesn't make any sense the way that they've handled
All
the quarterback
true,
room.
but the original plan was a bad plan anyway, in my opinion.
Well, you had 2 veterans and a rookie that you liked.
You know what makes an
That was the
original
plan.
bad plan even worse? When you blow it up midway through and try to go into a different
You
direction.
didn't even believe in your own plan.
So now you've got 4 quarterbacks at camp. You've got dueling pianos on 2 fields. And then you sweep out the veterans that you gave the reps. None of this, that's what I said. They've been flying the plane. They've been building the plane while they fly it, and they keep crashing it, and they keep picking it up off the ground, and then they crash it again. It is nonsensical the way that they've handled the quarterbacks from the time that they drafted Shador to trading both of these veterans. None of it makes sense.
I wonder, we won't know, we'll never know, who really was behind let's go get 2 veterans. Let's draft 2 rookies. Let's release 2 veterans. I know that we all say, hey, they're in lockstep. Somebody was driving the bus on those decisions.
There was no great demand for Joe Flacco. He was a free agent for a month.
There wasn't.
He sat out there for a month in free agency. It's not like he was the primary target. He wasn't.
No, he was what they had left to choose from.
So
they couldn't be in the Sam Darnold. The salary cap all goes back to the Deshaun Watson thing. By the way, any whispers about Deshaun Watson? Perhaps
I haven't
Stefanski
heard.
shut it down as definitively as he could last year.
I mean, the owner.
Yeah, I thought so too,
The
but-
owner has twice now come out and said this
that's
was a
not gonna
mistake.
work, that.
How can you put him back on the field?
I
He's
know.
not playing.
I listen. I think there. I said this about a month ago. I knew that it was trouble in paradise the moment that Joe Flacco was traded, because Kevin Stefanski, at least during that process, had a backup plan. If Dillon Gabriel does not look good, he can always say Joe Flacco gives us the best opportunity because he's a veteran, he's been here before, and
now he's gone.
there you go. And that person is taken off the table. Do you think Kevin Stefanski called the Bengals and said, hey, come get Joe? No.
No.
That wasn't his move. So you have your idea. You have your understanding. And by the way, you understand who took Shedeur Sanders and who said he's going to play. As a matter of fact, they're probably having a conversation right now about whether or not, even if he does get out of protocol, is Dillon Gabriel going to play this week? That's a conversation they're probably
That's
having
why I wish
right
Kevin
now.
would not have answered that question so definitively yesterday.
Next.
Oh no, he did the abs. Then there would be all this. I was glad he came out and said, "Nope, no, I don't agree with it."
Yeah, that's
but
why
at least there was definitively to
Well, there was all kinds of finality to when he kept telling us last year who the best quarterback was that gave us the chance to win when he was healthy. Let me ask you guys this question because I'm curious. I don't know what the answer is. There are currently 4 quarterbacks that the Browns could use now that Deshaun is where he is. Rank them 1 to 4. Which quarterback do you think, and even with Deshaun's health and his history, rank them 1 to 4. Who gives them the best chance to win? Now this is an exercise.
saddest
You might as well
question
just
we've
stand
ever
there with your legs wide open and tell somebody, "Go ahead, kick me 4 times hard as you can."
I thought you was going to say something else with their legs wide. With legs
I mean,
wide
honestly,
open.
who gives them the best chance to win? This is Deshaun.
I listen.
Deshaun gives
the
the best
reason
chance
I
to win.
asked that question.
But this is not
because-
about winning.
No, but
It
here's
has
the
been a
thing.
disaster,
Here's the-
and you have to get off of that.
I understand that, but here's the crazy thing about that. Because I agree with you, and I don't know what your guys' answer would be, but I think it
guess
would be
I would
Deshaun
probably
Watson.
say Deshaun,
I mean,
yeah.
remember the level of excitement for him when we got him. Finally, we've got a guy. He's still the same person. He's been through a lot since then. We don't know what he would look like on the field. But the reason Deshaun Watson is at the top of my list, aside from the fact is I've seen 2, 3, and 4, and they do nothing for me. Just imagine, guys, if they activated him December 1st, and he came out and balled out. Now, I know it's a big if. It's a huge if. But this is a guy, of all the 4, he's the only guy we've ever seen do that in the NFL, right? He's the only one.
That's right.
If he did that,
I just can't imagine he's got it. I
think
his
how
arm
that
is shot.
changes your playing field for next year because you're already going to pay him that money anyhow.
What if Dillon Gabriel returns and balls out? It's a better odds of that happening than
Is it? I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know.
Let me tell you
Well, no, you don't think so because you think that Deshaun gives him the best chance to win.
right now. But I
So-
don't think either one of them's going to
I don't
ball out.
listen. I don't either.
Hey, let me tell you
But I'm
this.
ranking them 1 to 4. Now this is where we are.
Hey, can I say this? Can I say it? First of all, we do a lot of revisionist history. It's a lot of people that I don't like Deshaun. Bro, when they announced that Deshaun Watson was coming here, everybody named Mama except for Jay was excited.
Yep.
Every
fact.
90% of the people was jumping up for joy.
Yeah.
Now,
You're right.
let's talk about this. In terms of his body of work is not even like his body of work. Like if you go back to what he's done and put on tape in this league, is tenfold better than everybody else because he's done it. It's proven. If you ask me, would I be surprised if Deshaun Watson went somewhere else and played well? I would tell you, no, I wouldn't be surprised. You know why? Because I done saw Sam Darnold do it. I done seen Mac Jones do it. I done seen Baker Mayfield do it. I done seen Geno Smith have a resurrection.
Culture.
Sometimes
is a big deal.
Sometimes it's all about the mental state you in, understanding and putting in a position where you have a fresh slate, you understand the game, you have perspective, and you can come around and play better. I just don't believe it's going to be here.
Deshaun Watson hasn't been good since COVID.
It's a fact.
Yeah.
That's the last time he
Nobody's
was good.
been banned for this long or out of the league for this long and turned around except for Michael Vick.
Somebody could say Kevin Stefanski's best job was during COVID.
Yeah, I think we all agree.
I would say that if you said who has the best chance to play, if they were all completely healthy, playing with the same teammates, and you had to rank who would play the best of the 4, I would go Watson 1, Shedeur 2, Gabriel 3, Zappy 4.
See, it's funny.
Maybe
The only one I could name easily was Deshaun Watson gives us the best chance to win. But then 2, 3, and 4 to me were all interchangeable. Of the 3 that are remaining, I've only seen one look like an NFL quarterback, and that was Bailey Zappi.
Zappy's thrown more picks and touchdowns.
Yes, he has. But what I'm saying is, I've only seen with my eyes one of them look like he can.
I just think Shador has upside. The
you
other
have
two
to
don't.
take
May not be a lot of upside, but
you got to
there.
take guys. You got to take into consideration the dude played a half. Listen, he played a half with no reps. So,
That's it.
like, I've seen these other guys play. Now, if you ask me, give him 6 games like Dillon got 6,
yes.
then I'm gonna say,
Now, the learning curve for him is he's got, after this one, he's got San Francisco. Then down the road, he's got the Bills, who look pretty good. He's got some teams
Yeah,
that
they still got he's got the Titans who stink. He's
Titans
got the
and
Raiders defense who's
No.
terrible.
He got the Saints too, right?
No.
We don't have the Saints this
Bears.
year.
I need him to lock in on this game. That's the only thing that matters.
One at a
Yeah,
time.
you're right.
Listen, we ain't skipping this one. We want improvement from this game and a half. And we want improvement to this game.
One
We
at a
spent
time.
an
All right,
hour
guys,
and
we'll
10
talk
minutes.
plenty.
It's amazing. We spent an hour and 10 minutes on Shador, which I get, quarterback, and yet the Browns really have a massive story that's actually
Yes.
positive.
Yes.
In Myles Garrett.
Yes.
And that's what we're getting to
That's the
after a
shade.
quick
70
word
minutes into the show. We're
from
just now
FanDuel,
talking about a
guys.
future Hall of Famer.